Yeah, we have to fly to Canada to have less technical difficulties than at home.
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
Good, eh?
Oh, they designated him for assignment and the Cubs claimed him.
I wish we could have live streamed this,
how the
but
hell did they get their call?
Yo, for what it's worth, we do have a subreddit, we do have a Discord. Go look at it.
Well, they got Martin Maldonado because panic. The Reds won.
Link is on the subreddit.
Yeah, they did win. 3-1.
The line for
Well, now we're 2 games behind the Reds.
They're winning just in time to blow their prospects on somebody like Blackman.
we're going to talk about the trade deadline.
Oh, don't
for sure.
worry.
Yeah, so there's another
and
one.
Theo Riddick is gone from the Lions.
Oh yeah, they cut him. I knew about that. A lot of sources.
Mr. Bob, the owner is bad.
Was it Kimchi?
Yeah.
Oh,
He was out of shape.
David Riddick signs a 2-year deal worth $5.5 million.
Wow, with who?
Riddick, David Riddick.
Oh, David Riddick. I thought you meant
Yeah,
Winnick.
the one who's, for instance,
Oh, Riddick
Forte.
for the Flames, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Gosh, we got
Kimchi,
hockey news happening here.
And Masahiro Tanaka, 12th year, becomes second most by Yankee pitcher in history.
He's been getting blown up pretty
Is
bad.
he worse than Yu
We're in
Darvish?
Canada, man. What do you expect?
I'm still trying to figure out how they ended up here in the first place. Did SeatGeek sponsor this excursion?
No, we came on our own dime, yeah.
That's the reason why we're all here.
Twitch.com.
We're all here.
What's up, boys?
You really
What's
didn't
going
have
on?
to-
Come on down. Come on down.
Oh, I
You're the
see you're a
next
big fan of
contestant on the
TKO, eh?
dumpster fire.
I bet you like TKO.
You have an actual Cleveland fan here.
Oh boy. Wow.
Which one?
Hi.
Uh-oh.
I'm glad Roman Stratman is not on your team anymore. I'm sure you're glad of that.
Oh boy, this is already starting great. All right.
Welcome to the dumpster fire.
Do you want to hit that?
Oh, yeah, man.
You want to hit the beginning? We'll get started.
There we go.
I changed it up a little bit.
Woo!
What up, boys?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the first ever live dumpster fire where we're actually here in person, not
I know, we're not.
complaining about technical difficulties in my basement.
Because of in my sorry.
Did you bring your phone charger for
I didn't.
your battery, your laptop? There you go. Yeah.
System, we're good. It's not going to die in an hour, although fortunately you have it back.
You know what's funny is we've been doing this show for about 2 years, and
Really?
I was not paying attention.
no, there's never been a show where we haven't fucked up in some amazing way. Yes.
Y'all are doing
Like,
great. Thank you very much.
if you guys watch the actual stream,
I'll move the mic up.
there are so many times of panic, like right before we're supposed to go on the air, and we're just like, do you know that my computer needs to restart for the next half hour? Can you run the board? Like, we're sitting here texting each other, like, hey, dude, I need you to run the board.
And it's like 9, and it's like, where's the, what?
Right. I tell you, the viewers are so patient and amazing that they would even stick around for us to do that shit. So I can't tell you how much I appreciate everyone that's here, and let's get the show started. All right.
Much kudos to you boys coming in. Definitely appreciate it.
So we do have an agenda tonight. We worked on this over lunch at George Hamilton, a famous tanner.
Are you, you're not going to need the projector, are you?
I don't think we need the projector at all. You can just turn it off. Don't have to waste the bulb. All right.
There we go.
So we worked out an agenda today. We're going to talk a little bit of NFL. I'm sure you guys are excited to see a lot of football jerseys here. We're going to talk some baseball stuff. There's so much stuff. The NHL season or the NFL season hasn't even started. We've only had a couple days of camp, and there's already shit going down to talk about, which I'm loving. Tons of shit, tons of salt already as a Giants fan. And then we got baseball stuffs, and then we'll take your questions from the audience. And if you want, did you get the
I kind of got
okay. So what we'll do is you can come up here and just ask us questions.
There's a mic stand right there. Come up there.
Yeah, there's a mic stand there. It'll be the first ever like in-person Snapchats, or sorry, Super Chat.
Snapchat, we're gone within a day.
We've ever had. And then if you want to donate 100% of any revenue that we make tonight is going to Alzheimer's awareness, the Alzheimer's Association. Association. So, as you know, my dad is in early onset dementia.
Oh,
and so that's the cause that is closest to me. It's definitely a sobering experience to go through this. So, but rather than take the whole mood of the stream down, let's go ahead and get started. So, training camp is open, and wouldn't it be great, Steve? Tree.
It kind of like got blown by that post because that article. So
yeah. Wouldn't it be great to arrive in training camp in a fucking hot air balloon like Antonio Brown did?
Right.
Yeah, money truck.
Is that the most Antonio Brown thing to do? Is to arrive at Oakland Raiders training camp in a hot air balloon?
No, it's Mr. Big Chest, remember?
That's right, Mr. Big Chest.
So we need more of a hot air balloon. It's like
Hey, it's Golden Eagle.
Football fodder. Is that it? Could be.
Yep.
Is your mic working?
Yeah, I think it is.
Okay,
Yeah, it's working.
Just make sure it's plugged in.
Yeah, we're
at
good.
the bottom.
Let's go full user.
And,
Don't worry, I will soon.
So he shows up in the most, I wouldn't say ironic, I would just say fitting way possible in a vessel that is completely fueled by what he is great at dishing out, which is hot air. But I don't know.
He makes $500 for every shot.
That's right, he does. Yeah. You can get on Cameo, right? And you can get $500
I mean,
for
like
a shout out.
most expensive, I think, is like Caitlyn Jenner. She has $1,000.
Wow,
They have like a couple
$1,000.
other athletes, but the big one is Jenner.
Joe Thomas is on there.
Yeah, a couple others. I think I saw like Melvin Gordon and a couple others.
Maybe we should do that. Maybe you guys
that would
should
be
force
so
us
good.
to tell dick jokes for $10.
Yes.
Nobody would pay for it.
I know.
No one would do it for free.
Right, I'm not that fucking important.
Okay.
So AB shows up in a hot air balloon, but who showed up in the Brinks truck?
Jalen Ramsey.
So Jalen Ramsey, the mouth of the NFL, shows up in a Brinks truck, and I don't know if that's like any cooler than a hot air balloon. How do you rate that on the scale of cool?
It's pretty much him like trying to cash checks that his ass can't cash.
He's good at that. He did that all last year and the year before that.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he really
more
cashed
last year than anything, but
He really wrote a big one in the AFC Championship game.
hardcore.
Good old Jalen Ramsey. So, and then somebody else showed up in a NASCAR stock vehicle.
Anthony Sherman.
Yeah, the Shermanator shows up. So we were talking about this earlier today. Like, it used to not be a big deal to show up to training camp, right? Like, you just show up and you just get tortured for a couple weeks before the NFL season
Exactly. We
starts.
were talking about this during
Right.
lunch.
But now there's such an audience for people to show up and fucking. Actually, if there's a camera and you're an NFL player, it's like crack to a crackhead. Yeah, nice extended metaphor there. Right, yeah. But if there's a camera around, you're an NFL player, you're in front of it because you got to squeeze every bit of exposure out, right? Like, just like a pervert in an alley. You got to get them when they walk by, So.
What's attention? I don't know what that is.
Right. And then, did anyone else show up? Okay.
I don't think, but we have a couple other things going on.
I don't know. How would you show up to training camp if it was you? What would your option
show
be?
up in the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile, and I would probably eat a roast beef sandwich at the same time. You're like, over here? Yeah.
I'd have to wait for the next. I'd have
Hot dogs would be bad.
I'd have to wait for the next collective bargaining agreement. I'd show up in the van from Up in Smoke, like just the green van. Like, yeah, we're ready to play some football and smoke a lot of weed, which is legal here.
Legal state.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. The tailpipe catches fire and they get all of America stoned. That's one of the greatest movies of all time. Cheech and Chong's Up in
I have
Smoke.
something. I'm guessing if Richard Sherman was in his prime, do you think he was just roll up by just on the red carpet, just dousing his fans with Skittles?
Oh yeah. That was that Marshawn Lynch?
Right,
Yes,
now
that's
Richard
right.
Sherman.
Yeah, Beast Mode,
Hey, I made
Skittles.
her up.
If I had a candy associated with me, it would probably be like Reese's.
I'd probably say Three Musketeers.
Yeah.
Like Swiss chocolate, but fluffy chocolate interior with nougat.
Yes, that would be
I like that.
yummy.
I haven't seen one of those in years.
Those are though. Milky Way's kind of the same. Milky Way is a little firmer.
Yeah.
with the caramel.
Cadbury egg, you know what that is?
Yeah, Cadbury eggs are good shit. The chocolate cream fill.
Do you know what the Urban Dictionary for Cadbury egg is? I'm not gonna say it. Y'all can go fucking look that shit up yourself.
Yeah.
You know what a jelly donut is? Okay. All right. So Mike Tomlin gets extended coach of the Steelers. So what's the term there? I think
only
Another 1 year.
So only
he's
1
going to
year.
expire the same year as Roethlisberger does.
Is that a big kind of fuck you to Mike Tomlin
It's
in the
pretty
fact
much
that?
a warning shot because
Yeah.
the Steelers don't fire coaches. At this point, it's like you're going to do something or you're gone.
But I think that it's sort of a favor to him, right? Again, if they have a bad year and they go 7-9 and they're not going to be good, if they're bad this year, they're not going to be good the next year after that. He could go
Ben's only gonna
someplace
be
like,
older, let's be real.
somebody will take a Mike Tomlin and overpay for him. They'll be like, oh, hey, we're the Arizona Cardinals. We got to pay Mike Tomlin 10 times what he's worth.
Don't give them ideas. They would do that.
They would fire Kingsbury. They would fire Kingsbury right now and hire Mike Tomlin. They'd be like, "Fuck you, Kingsbury. Get your shit out of here. You couldn't win with Patrick Mahomes in college. Get the fuck out of here."
He won't win with Kyler Murray either, but
Yeah,
probably
okay,
for that
yeah.
one, so why not?
So I mean, I don't know. How do you feel as a salty Yinzer about Mike Tomlin's
To be
coaching?
fair, it was inevitable. Come on.
Yeah.
Like, everyone knew Tomlin was going to get extended. The Steelers don't fire coaches. They pick their choices in Ben and Tomlin when the civil war was between him, them, and Le'Veon and AB.
Well, that brings up something interesting. Is like, who is the replacement for Mike Tomlin? You know, do you think that the Steelers go into that
probably
carousel?
go for like the coordinator thing again. They usually go for an unproven coordinator and build them up.
Yeah, that's true. Could be. I don't know. They got really lucky, but maybe their philosophy of really vetting a coach and then just telling them, hey, it's your show. You're going to be here for the next 20 years. Maybe that worked. I mean, Mike Tomlin won 2 Super Bowls, so can't really put a cast. You know, I'd say that's a success.
Yeah, when you win a Super Bowl like that, of course.
Yep. So some things happening now. You got Zeke Elliott holding out, and also Todd Gurley. Oh no, not Todd Gurley.
Todd Gurley has the
sorry, Melvin Gordon is also holding out. Todd Gurley did get paid. I'm sorry about that. So that brings up the question. Yeah.
I'm gonna test you, man. You should know this.
Yeah, I know. Come on. I smoked a little earlier, so my head could be a little rusty, right?
I'm losing it. I gotta get the fuel.
We did also drink. So, smoke weed every day. It's legal here. It's legal here. So is prostitution. But you don't have to do that.
Prostitution?
Yeah. What? Did someone say that out loud?
What's prostitution?
So, I think it's.
I might be later. I don't know.
That's every dumpster fire.
Yeah. Have a good night.
So I find it funny that Zeke's holding out. Like, I kind of understand the plight of a running back, right? Like, your body gets used up. Yeah, pretty much.
Melvin Gordon, I feel like, is a little different than Le'Veon, though.
Or you mean than Zeke? Well, Melvin Gordon, he's been hurt a couple. He's
only making $5.5 million per year. He's on the final year of a contract. The Chargers are notoriously cheap with their players. If you remember the Joey Bosa saga, he held out because the Chargers wouldn't pay him a signing bonus.
Yeah, and it kind of brings up the question, like, should running backs have a different pay scale than other players? I mean, they get abused pretty much the hardest of any NFL player. Would you say,
The issue is there's no market, but in Melvin Gordon's case, he should be getting paid more than what he is. It might be a couple mil, but he should be.
I would say most NFL players are underpaid for the amount of revenue that the NFL generates. Yeah, and the sacrifice that they make with their bodies. Like, I know a bunch of ex-players. My friend that I used to work with, he has like more screws in his leg than a hardware store. Like, it's just completely, like, him walking hurts me. Like, he's just like, and it's not pretty what happens to an ex-football player's body.
Oh yeah, just look at Earl Campbell.
Yeah, or John Mackey too. Like,
John Elway.
Yeah, John Elway. Well, most of his shortcomings or troubles that have to do with him drafting quarterbacks after
he likes
his
guys in the
career.
form of him. He likes them taller and white.
Yeah.
We know
Well,
this.
how many years? 4 years in a row he's drafted a QB in the draft.
I have no
Paxton
idea.
Lynch. Who else was taken? By John Elway. What's that? Drew Lock now, and he had the audacity to try to hold out.
Paxton Lynch.
Paxton Lynch. Timmy
Tebow.
Simeon. Brock Osweiler.
Osweiler.
Yep.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Simeon was the only one that was under 6 feet.
Elway's. Yeah. Hey, I if you're 6 feet tall and you are handsome, you can play for the Broncos.
Just tall.
Yep. What else do we got here?
Yeah, we got Bobby Wagner.
Oh, Bobby Wagner got extended. He's on Seattle, right?
Yeah, Seattle linebacker. You know, the guy at the Chicago against the Bears, I think it was. Oh, Vikings. You know, he just jumped up about everyone called it illegal and just like smacked the ball out of the air with a field goal.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Bobby Wagner. He was part. I don't know. You consider him the Legion of Boom, or he was just part of that defensive unit?
Legion of Boom was technically more secondary. But
yes.
like, I mean, he's still kind of part of it.
That just reminds me, like, the Legion of Boom was the shit for 2 years, and just the impermanence of the NFL. Like, at one point you're on top, and you're just kicking everybody's ass. It's almost like the NBA now, but not as bad. Like, you can keep together a core of a team, but the NBA this summer was absolutely insane. I've never seen.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
People-
I mean, ugly and beautiful.
The Warriors finally got them.
Yeah, the NBA is unfucked now, as Tree would
Can
say.
we get a round of applause for that?
Yeah, almost. Thank you.
What's that?
A round of applause for
Yes.
the
NBA, you're no longer fucked.
for now.
For now. I mean, give it a couple years, he'll probably be fucked again, but
Yeah.
That's right.
right,
And-
the team Giannis goes to. But at this point, Robin Kimdiche got cut.
Yeah.
Not out of shape. And he's been injured for like 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, if your job is to be in the NFL and play football, don't you think you should show up like in shape? Unless he really just wanted to get cut so that he
He
could
had
become
gotten
a free
injured
agent.
last year. I think he
yeah.
had like ACL surgery.
Oh, yeah, that sucks. I have a torn ACL, so I know what the trials and tribulation is with that. Like it doesn't hurt, but it definitely will hamper your ability to play sports, because if you try to plant or anything like that, and your knee can explode, and it's not the ligament that hurts, it's the muscles around it that hurt. So it's painful, but it doesn't cause you to sit around and eat Cheetos, you know. In the off-season.
What's wrong with that though? He gets a little 420 in him.
Yeah. So that's kind of all the news items we have for the NFL so far. Do y'all have any questions about or anything that y'all want to talk about with the NFL right now? Or yes.
So, brother.
So, as a representative of the New Jersey Butt Fumble Society, I would like your opinion on the retirement of Mark Sanchez.
Oh my
Was
God.
it too early? Do you think he had more time to be the butt of many more a joke?
Oh wow.
I think the Redskins against the Giants was a great finale for him. First pass, throws a pick six, right from the 5-yard line. The man was a legend in ways that we cannot comprehend. He had such promise, and then, boom, right into the center spot, and that's all he's going to be known for. It's like Bill Buckner with the ball. Doesn't matter what he did. He's going to be remembered for that.
I think he
Jim
was.
Marshall.
I think so much pressure was put on him to be he was Sanchez was his name, and he was drafted based on him making a lot of throws without any pads on. You know that famous video of him in the before the draft where he's got his shirt off, and he's just chucking balls. Like, yeah, everyone looks good with no pads on. And then he got to the NFL, and yeah, they experienced a lot of success, but they also had a fucking killer defense. Like Bart Scott led the charge there, and they succeeded despite Mark Sanchez. And then when it came down to him being a real quarterback, it just wasn't there. So I think it's time. I think he's, for me personally, the greatest QB ever for all the memes that he spawned with his face going right into his own lineman's ass. It's so good.
A new legend
It's so good.
It symbolized them so well.
Right. How many times have you watched that clip as a shit poster, and you just see it, and it's so unfathomable that
I still like chuckle every time I see it.
I wish we could put it up here and we could just all just sit here and watch it again for 5 minutes.
Oh, they turn it off.
Yeah, they turn it.
They don't have Wi-Fi.
Yeah, they don't have Wi-Fi here, so. Oh. We
think
don't
you would have had that as a
save.
gift.
Yeah, but it's still amazing to this day of him just losing his way and just finding a big ass right out there on the field. But I think you know.
Well, he said enough.
It was proven that when he went anywhere else, he couldn't really succeed the way that he should have. But it also tells you that the Skins sucked ass last year and signed him. Yes.
Two questions. One, do you think the NFL will ever expand to add a new team? And if it isn't San Antonio, like as you saw from Take Two.
Yeah. Go on, brother.
Not the company. Do you think the NFL will actually expand again? If it can't be San Antonio, like as we saw from the AAF, which city do you think it will be?
If they're going to expand, I think they will, but it will be a little bit before they do.
I think the league is perfect right now, but the way that you can see clearly the economics are going, they're talking about an 18-game schedule. They're so fucking greedy that
They'll
they
probably
want.
go 36.
Yeah, it could be 36. I actually might do a video on if the NFL could sustain 40 franchises and how that would look. Like, ultimately, you could have 10 divisions of 4 teams
You can
and
do
just
3
have
or 6.
and just have a massive clusterfuck of teams.
And then
because
expand the playoffs. You can do, instead of like a wild card 6, you can do like 8.
Right. Yeah, if you look at the pure economics of it, if a city like Charlotte can support an NFL team, you know, then if you look at other, like, there's other cities that have that population size that, of course, they would go to the NFL games. I mean, the NFL is a revenue-producing machine. And
San Antonio would be a big guess.
Yeah, San Antonio.
I would say San Diego might get another team.
Right, you look at these.
They got a new stadium.
Right, you look at these.
St. Louis.
Yeah, St. Louis would get one again. If you look at these college towns that support these huge, you know, college programs, and you know, with like Clemson, the town of Clemson has less people population-wise than the stadium holds. So it's very possible that we could see 40 teams in the NFL.
And my other question is, will you ever do a this week in sports ball on the CFL? Considering that there's
CFL?
Yeah.
Like I said, I feel like it's one of those things I might need to outsource because I just don't know enough about
Okay.
it.
I mean, you could have done a one-off game because
How many fans are from Canada in here?
I actually work for
Okay.
them for the Tigers as one of their mascots actually.
Oh wow! Oh hey!
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Although I don't get to watch the game, I still get to enjoy the fact of such unruly fans.
So one thing that when I was researching my video on the Canadian football rules, Canada has one of the most interesting rule sets in the fact that it has like a very semi-racist rule in the fact that I think 75% of the roster has to be Canadian.
Yes.
So like
It's one of those Canadians.
that's not really racism, but they want to have Canadian players as part of it's the CFL, not the failed American players in
Except
Canada.
They expanded.
League.
They actually had American teams in the CFL for a few years.
They did. Baltimore expanded, and they actually did what the Vegas Golden Knights couldn't do. They won the Grey Cup in their first year, I believe. Second year, yeah.
But they got there in the first year. They just lost.
Yeah, they got to the Cup game, and then they lost. But the second year, they won it. And then, where else did they play in the CFL?
San Antonio, Las Vegas, Sacramento, Memphis, and Birmingham.
Right, wow. Good pull right there. Solid. But I would say if the CFL didn't expand to Baltimore, the Ravens wouldn't be in Baltimore. Like, that really proved to the city that they could support, like, they could have. Well, it also put a lot of pressure on the politicians to get a stadium built. So that was actually very beneficial to the city of Baltimore for having a CFL team. But it didn't work for San
Do you
Antonio.
think that's going to be even something that the people would like, since it's a Canadian Football League, and then you're adding an American team in there, so it's not...
Well, yeah, I mean, clearly it didn't. It wasn't a sustainable thing, but it was a nice aggressive move.
Yeah.
It would be a
CFL.
culture shock. That's
Yeah.
It certainly would.
It's definitely a different product. I find the CFL to be like really interesting as a sport.
I mean, if technically the AAF could pull it if you look.
And I don't know if you know about the history of American football. If it wasn't for Canada, American football wouldn't exist. So the first American football games it was actually guys kicking a soccer ball down the field like as far as they could into a goal area, and then they arranged a game with I believe it was McGill University. And then McGill was like, "What's that shit that you're playing? This is stupid. Like, this is how we play football." And they showed him like how to it was more like a rugby version. And then that's how American football was like, "All right, let's take that back," you know. And okay, so. But thank you, nice tangent.
Okay, that's your question. Put it back.
Shit.
Oh man.
So is this live stream to YouTube? If so, then I'll the viewers.
We're gonna be doing live to tape.
We'll probably edit it. We're filming it right now. And then
Yeah.
And I'll be doing the same.
Unfortunately, we can't get Wi-Fi in here, so we can't live stream it
Yeah, I
right
hope
here.
that, make sure those viewer
alright, man.
eardrums don't.
It's not your fault.
I can't actually hear anything anymore. The NFC East, total clusterfuck this year. Who you got winning it?
All right, so the Giants have started camp very well.
Oh, and it's been wonderful.
Yeah, we didn't,
Look how many
we didn't
wide
bring
receivers
this
got,
up.
dude.
So, if you don't know, I'm a Giants fan. Sterling Shepard breaks his thumb just walking in the building somehow. I think he got his thumb caught in the door. And Corey Coleman, who a lot of people told me that it was Gary Coleman, tore his ACL. I was like, wait a minute, Gary Coleman? What you talking about, Willis? Gary Coleman's hurt? Shit, when did we sign him from the grave?
I didn't know people can play football.
Why you make me second string, coach?
Corey Coleman. And then, Golden Tate, the guy that you basically got rid of Odell Beckham for. It's like, oh, don't worry. Gettleman's like, don't worry, we got Golden Tate, everyone. Don't panic. We got rid of the best wide receiver in all of the NFL, but Golden Tate's here. And I guess he felt like he had to keep up with that pressure, and he popped some steroids in his ass. And now he's got a 4-game PED suspension, which he's appealing. So it's not a good start for the Giants. It's really tough to pick who's going to win the NFC East for me right now, but I would have to say it'll probably be someone that you don't expect, like the Redskins, because last year they were very good until they got hurt. They should have won the division, and then they just broke down, like an old running back.
They'll probably beat the Cowboys because God hates us all.
Wow, you picked 2 wrong answers.
Maybe I meant to pick them.
All right. I will say this. A lot of people are saying the Eagles, but like my own personal bias doesn't allow me to say the Eagles. I'm just, I'm salty and bitter that they had to go out and win a Super Bowl. Big Dick Nick.
Did he still call
Big
Golden
Dick
Tate?
Nick. What's that?
Golden Taint.
Golden Taint. Yes. That sounds like a male stripper's name. Like, I'm Golden Taint.
Coming
Look at
down
it.
the aisle with a dumpster
I love
fire.
these
Golden Taint.
All right. So if we don't have any Clinton Dix, my favorite name of all time, or that and Wang Licken,
Jake
the Chinese ping pong player Wang Licken, for his name. Like, I'm Golden Taint. Look
Coming
at
down
it.
the aisle with a dumpster
I
fire.
love these
Golden Taint.
All right. So if we don't have any Clinton Dix, my favorite name of all time, or that and Wang Licken,
Jake
the Chinese ping pong player Wang Licken, or Destiny Hooker.
Was I rejected Destiny's Child member?
No. All right. Yeah. So we don't have any more football-related questions.
I do. What do you
yeah.
think? Do you think Johnny Manziel will ever play for a football team again?
Maybe for like an independent team.
I don't know.
Yeah, could be.
I don't
it'll
think
be
so.
like a smaller league. It won't be like a major.
Yeah,
So-
because they were. Oh, Hamilton is all big excited. Oh, Johnny Manziel's coming to Hamilton. Woo!
He was terrible.
And then they were like, oh, I can't wait to see him play. And then they immediately trade him. And
Yeah.
Montreal.
Why? Yeah, why? And then they just
Montreal wasn't even that good in Montreal.
Right, and then he gets banned from the league immediately. And they never said why.
To the XFL, he played
Right.
like a week for the Memphis Express. And
That's
then
right.
They folded.
And then they folded.
And he was the most
It was
mature guy
neat.
because he knew like everyone was fucked.
Yeah, the Nuggets did a good thing where they knew that people would buy the jersey. That after the trade, they said that anyone who bought a Mandel jersey, trade it in, and you get $100 worth of.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We got the backup camera.
We got backup.
Sorry.
We can change. We
I got you covered too.
and shit.
It's not a.
We're good.
It's not something fire stream without something going wrong.
Yes, dumpster.
That's why we
It's not
call
a
it
real
dumpster
dumpster fire until
The
there's
only thing
fire
that
in
would
the
happen is that
dumpster.
somehow this computer sets on fire. Microphone. Or you know what? Or maybe this Diet Pepsi can become sentient and just start smacking us in the face. Because that is how this stream goes.
Well, me being a Giants fan, that's
I
probably
think we
what's
need
going to
to
happen.
deposit some money into this little square jar here.
Yeah, there we
Hey, at
go.
least it's
Good
not-
job.
Right.
Maybe it will save us.
Okay, so we're looking at baseball right now. It is in the middle of baseball season. It's basically the Dodgers' season to lose.
Eat salad.
Again?
And, yeah, the Giants coming out of nowhere. So San Francisco is playing some good baseball right now. They were looking like probably one of the biggest sellers.
They were looking
Yeah, they were looking they were looking dead, and now probably the worst thing that can happen to them is kind of they might have Pittsburgh from last year syndrome, where they started winning games at the deadline,
and they're relevant.
and
They buy the deadline, and come August.
Yep, and then they go right back in the shitter. That's what
Well, I
happened.
mean, they're losing to San Diego 3-0 right now, but it's San Diego, so
Right.
they'll probably pull something out of their ass.
And then what is even worse than that is then Mad Bum can't be really moved.
Well,
after-
you're not going to move
yeah.
Mad Bum. You have a plethora of relievers that can get a premium demand on the market. You have Will Smith, Tony Watson. You might get somebody to buy for Melanson's awful contract. But, I mean, otherwise, just, I don't know.
You're fucked.
Yeah.
I don't know. They got to win.
They got
okay.
the panda.
What are the standings right now? What are they looking at?
Well, we're looking at right now, if you're looking at the NL, like it's pretty much a cluster right now. Atlanta's still leading. Washington's back 6 games. Philly's 6.5 in that division. Central's still a cluster. St. Louis is leading the division now. Chicago's a game back. Milwaukee's 2 games back.
Wait a minute. How is Chicago not in first place in the
Because
NL
they're an
Central?
underachieving sack of shit team.
Oh,
They
wow.
pretend that they're good.
Those are
I
fighting
remember when
words.
they swept the Pirates, it's like, oh, the Cubs are good again. Everything's great. It's wonderful. You played the Pirates. They were getting lucky for about a month. Come on.
Go out there and fish Schwarber's home run out of the Allegheny.
Oh,
Tony Walters, and he'll hit some bullshit single in the 15th inning. Good job.
Golly, the salt.
I'm going to give you 4 words. Doesn't
Wait.
matter, God's ring.
Oh, I got one for you. Doesn't matter, Pedro Strop.
Wow. You sound more upset than Chris Archer giving up a home run.
No, that Chris Archer does the moonwalk and then
To the
gets
Reds.
pissed off by somebody looking at the home run.
That's right.
And then he beans him.
Yes, that's Chris Archer. What a great acquisition that was.
Oh, that was beautiful. Exactly. That's the kind of stuff the Giants should worry about.
I am shocked at the Cubs not being in first place for the spend that they're laying out. They're spending more money than
They have a $200 million payroll.
most Central American countries' entire GDPs to not be in first place.
Because that is what the Cubs do.
Yes.
I thought that's what the Dodgers do.
Oh, but the Dodgers are winning.
Yeah,
they're
the Dodgers
doing
are literally
well.
dominating. Like the second place team are the Giants, and they are
Yep.
15 games back.
Yeah, and if we're gonna keep talking about baseball, you got the Pirates and the Rangers are just absolutely shitting the bed right now.
Okay.
Yes.
The Rangers are straight up collapsed.
So-
They're around 500 again.
So Ben, if you want to,
And that's perfect because this is the kind of music that would fit for, well, the Pirates and the Giants. and the
yeah,
Rangers.
it's a precipitous decline right now. Yes, and if you just want to trigger Tree, just mention the standings. You know,
No, if you want
how
to trigger
bad-
me, all you gotta do is mention Brandon Tanev.
Yeah.
We're fucked.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks for coming, y'all. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thanks for
Love
checking us
What's up,
out.
guys?
Yeah, they made it 30 minutes.
I know, I'm
Woo!
surprised.
Half an hour. All right.
Oh, massive.
Yes.
I am completely shocked that people are still sitting here.
I'm loving that everyone.
My will help.
Pretty much. I mean, there are a couple of people probably sitting against their will.
I'm surprised someone didn't come in here thinking it was an actual dumpster fire. They're like, shit, we came in here to stay warm. Like, we're here to burn some.
Hold on, we need to let dead air have a few seconds.
Okay.
They misspelled it.
Answer is the Cleveland.
The Cleveland Steamers?
The Milwaukee Sausage that wins.
Milwaukee sausage. Yes. All right.
Atlanta.
Winner takes-
Oh wait, there's the Volcanerico bobblehead coming in to bash people over the head with a homer.
All right, we got some juicy topics though to talk about the MLB, which is the trade deadline coming up. Which everyone, the only thing I hear really is Marcus Stroman. Like everyone's like,
big one. He's going to be insanely overpaid because he is the best pitcher on the market, and this is how this goes.
so get this bullshit. The Mets are talking getting rid of Syndergaard to get Stroman ultimately, which is like such a Met thing to do, right? Like why would you get rid of one of the best fastballs in the league, Thor himself, to ultimately land Stroman?
But he has mound presence.
I know, but it makes me as a Met
What
fan.
happens when you have a player agent, man?
This season has already been rough enough, but it makes me want to put my dick in a sliding glass door and just shut that shit.
Being a Mets fan
Like,
in general, though.
it's hard being a Met fan. It's hard.
Is that better than Brendan Taylor?
You fired him from Blue Jays. You're just giving him back now.
Yeah. I mean, they got Syndergaard in the biggest steal ever, and they just want to give him back. Like, it makes no sense.
We're too good. Here, give it back.
No, they're not going to give it back. They'll be like Milwaukee will probably be really desperate and get somebody, and they'll probably get like Keston Hera, and then Keston Hera will be traded for a middling reliever in the 8th inning.
I could see the Nats making some moves.
They need bullpen.
Yeah,
they
could.
Fernando Rodney in 2019.
Who do they have for prospects though? Who could the Nats get rid of?
Boom. They have a couple pitchers still. Trying to think who else really, but I mean, most of them they traded.
Yeah, that's true. They mortgaged their future a couple years ago. They didn't get any compensatories for Bryce Harper.
They didn't get it. They got it this year.
They might be able to leverage those.
I already picked them.
Oh, who knows? But I could see them adding bullpen help. I could see the Cubs adding a lot of pieces.
Well, I mean, they need to. What are you going to trade? Because luxury tax.
Yeah.
It's not just luxury tax. It's the fact that everybody's going to be, they know the Cubs are fucked in the bullpen. They're going to overcharge.
They're going to be out of contract.
Right. That's true. There's a lot of leverage. Yeah. You could maybe see a team like the Reds or something in the NL Central making some moves and just trying to get real ballsy.
I hope not.
I think the Reds.
Are you a Reds fan?
Unfortunately.
But that was
I'm trading. I've heard Blackman. I've heard Diaz. I'm just like
Charlie Blackmon.
Yeah, Charlie Blackmon. But I'm like, what do we do with Puig? Do we just chuck him in the river? Where is he going?
Yeah,
Sending him to Colorado with prospects? What are we doing?
Probably going to send some pitchers to die. That's
yeah.
What
pitchers are number one?
How's Puig doing this year? I don't pay attention.
He had for about April and the first 2 weeks of May, and now he's been on fire.
Yeah, he's been doing all right since. If they were to trade him, they'd probably get I don't know, maybe a guy in high A.
That guy should bat 325, 30 home runs. He's just based on looks. He's like the modern day Raul Mondesi. He just looks amazing. So you just figure that he should do amazing.
When he bashes dongs, it's oh yeah, that's why that guy's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still think it's more when he runs into the wall in right field trying to chase down a fly ball.
Yeah,
I got this.
He is kind of suspect on the defensive ability right there. And then, so there was a trade so far. Sergio Romo to the Twins. I think we talked about that. Oh, you got here. Felipe Vasquez could be traded. Ken Giles has been talking about.
Giles.
Also, the Mets activated Zach Wheeler, probably way too early to cart him out there.
Because
so that
they
he can,
want to trade him.
Yes. Yeah.
And if they
that's
can
the
get
only
a
reason.
middling prospect for his rotting corpse,
Right. They're probably like, hey, pitch 1 inning, and then we'll prove to everyone that you're healthy, and then we'll ship you out like you want to be shipped. Because anytime you get removed from the Mets, that's like a good day.
I'd say so.
Yeah. So we're getting through these topics pretty quickly.
I know, man. Want to trade him.
Yes. Yeah.
And if
that's
they
the
can get
only
a
reason.
middling prospect for his rotting corpse,
Right. They're probably like, hey, pitch 1 inning, and then we'll prove to everyone that you're healthy, and then we'll ship you out like you want to be shipped. Because anytime you get removed from the Mets, that's like a good day.
I'd say so.
Yeah. So we're getting through these topics pretty quickly.
I know, man.
Go back to the outline real quick.
Pretty easy, man.
What else do we have?
Yeah,
Any score updates
Yeah,
tonight?
we got a couple score updates here.
Is anybody going to the Jays game tomorrow? Anybody else? No? All right.
Too busy over here, unfortunately.
All right, brother. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
I'm glad you guys joined us.
Yeah, we're thrilled that you're here, but we're gonna check out.
Jays.
All right, yeah.
That's better than Brandon.
Hey,
The Jays are too good
we're
right
a low
now.
bar. Don't insult the Jays like that.
Don't insult the dumpster fire like that.
Oh, the dumpster fire is beautiful and burning.
No,
Nice and warm.
I'm really looking forward to checking out Rogers tomorrow. It'll be the first time I've ever gone inside of it. I've seen the outside.
I've been
a couple
inside it
times.
10 years ago, but that
Uh-huh.
was like, a Yankees-Jays game. It was just like, not really there to see it.
Yeah.
More like journalistic thing.
Yeah, I want to check
it's
it out.
a pretty
Yeah.
versatile building.
You ever catch the dome opening? It's amazing.
I think the forecast calls for a little rain, right? Sunday, so it might be a closed roof.
I got an open roof for Miller Park. That's beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah, Wisconsin in summer can't be beat.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was cold when we were there, but like we got it on a good night.
Yeah.
Me and my girl, I mean. But,
You have a girl?
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Can you believe it? Can you believe
I don't
it?
have a baby girl. But
I'm married and I have 2 kids. I don't know how that happened either, you know.
it just happened. It was like the Monty Python scene from
Right.
Meaning of Life. The baby just pops out.
That's right. It's like, oh, yeah. here we go. Yeah.
Okay. I have a kid now.
I still don't understand when my wife will get her blindness fixed.
Blindness?
But yeah, I guess I was handsome when I had hair, and that was like a long time ago.
Just wax it,
Yeah.
man. Get that nice sheen going.
Get the sheen going.
Like if you're going, like a cavalry charge, all you got to do is build your head against the cavalry. Sun reflection will blind them, and then you can charge the spear into the horses.
You know,
And boom, you've won the battle of Thermopylae.
You know what the funniest thing to me is whenever we go live on the dumpster fire and the first 15 to 20 comments is just bald, ugly, bald, ugly.
I was expecting
bald,
comments. I'm
right,
disappointed.
right, yeah, so yeah, I'm disappointed, right? You
Be
didn't.
nice.
Yeah, I get it. It's a little different when I'm here. What's that?
Did you see half the people in this comments?
Yeah, that's true. It's like, hey, no, those that live in grass houses, right?
I
You
have a question.
know?
Why hasn't Flintlow Ralph made a theme song for the dumpster fire?
Oh, we should.
Flumlow's been on a couple.
Yeah, we should ask him if he could do a little rap for us. You know, maybe
Yeah,
like
bald, ugly,
yeah,
bald, ugly.
yeah, bald, ugly. But then, how do we incorporate trees? Salty, upset, yinzer, salty, fat fuck.
There you go.
Can we get a Captain Fat Fuck so that for the audience to get their first ever? Yeah.
Fat fuck.
Yes, that's great.
It's weird hearing echoes of it now.
Yeah, usually you're in Yinzer basement.
Yeah. Usually, I'm like, is this gonna do anything? I'm like, oh, it does.
So I gotta ask you, right? So as someone who not only runs a channel with you, but who's also a content creator, but as a consumer of content, you got anything good for sports ball this year? You got anything new that you're thinking about doing, or is
I feel like
is
it'll
it
go
a
with the
week
flow.
to week thing? Like
It's a week to week.
Yeah, where
Because
they-
like if it like happens, it'll happen, and it's one of those things where like I didn't expect Days of Our Steelers to go that long. I didn't expect that Saxonville Abbey to happen.
Right. And by the way, go ahead. The voice
like,
of
maybe it's gonna be
Saxonville
like a
Abbey
series
right
that
here.
happens. That person happened, and And
Saxonville Abbey is brought to you by Shitposter. I think we should start the ESPN, Electronic Shitposting Network.
Yeah.
And then we'll get sued into fucking oblivion. Yeah.
The duo show.
I think even if we did SPN, the Shitposting Network, we would get probably sued for that.
EA got pissed at the 90s for EASN.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the Electronic Arts Sports. Yes, I'm Ron Barr. That was one of the best games ever.
Oh, well, by the way, the Cubs had a 3-2 lead in the 10th, and they already blew it. It's Christian
Sorrow. Wow, Yelich is such a stud.
Let me do some updates for scores. Toronto actually won today against Tampa Bay.
Oh, yeah. Ooh. We might be able to see a win.
Tampa blew a 9-2.
Oh yes, I got a lot of ads on Twitter about that today. Like, did you see the game? Like, that would have been great if we could have seen that. We would have laughed such.
At least you're in the birthplace of your favorite team.
Yes.
No, they're too busy prepping for Montreal poutine. So.
Yeah, you gotta stretch the throat, stretch the stomach out, get ready for that
Washington.
poutine.
Sorry, buddy. Dodgers. Boston beat the Yankees. 9-5. Seattle.
Did they
not punch their fans in the dick. They beat Detroit 8-1.
Has Boston won 3 straight in New York? So they're starting to make moves, right?
I mean, you knew they were going to come alive sooner or later.
They have to. I mean, they are.
Payroll?
Yeah.
Come on.
They're the fucking defending champs. You know, they should be
Arizona
playing
beat
baseball.
Miami 9-2. No surprises
Okay.
there.
Yeah.
The White Sox actually won a game. I'm shocked.
Wow.
And all 5.
What about the Marlins?
Who'd they beat?
Yes.
No, they woo in unison, and then they're going to die because they're probably going to bring up Otis Robert Espana again. And he's going to pitch a game.
Who hates who more? Cubs fans hating White Sox fans or Cubs fans hating Cardinals fans?
Cardinals fans.
Everyone hating.
I'd say White Sox hating Cubs fans because they
is
are the richer brother.
Is White Sox like a close second of hate?
Not really. I mean,
It's more division, I feel like.
it's a crosstown thing. It's like a big brother, little brother.
Gotcha.
Big brother is the one with the money and lives on the north side. Little brother is the one who works in a slaughterhouse and lives on the south side.
I gotcha.
Phil, the Giants have been on fire recently. You think they're going to make the playoffs, or you think this is a fluke?
I don't think they're going to make it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
The problem is there's too much competition.
I think they'll be out of it by mid-August.
I'll get a predict.
Yeah. I think they're.
Well, I mean, the Pirates are already out of it, so. And then they'll go on a random winning streak and finish up a couple games out of a playoffs. But because that's how the Pirates do things, they can't even lose properly.
Garbage time.
Oh yeah, hardcore. Like Colin Kaepernick, garbage time.
Oh.
Oh, speaking of Pirates, they lost to the Mets 3-0.
Yes. My Mets.
Somebody killed
the team that's not.
We
trying
lost
to
the
win.
series to the Mets, and we might be getting swept by the Mets.
Yeah, it's possible.
The Pirates are now, I think, like 2-11 or 2-12 since the All-Star.
It is so frustrating watching the Mets. Like, they're just so bad.
Well, the Pirates went insanely lucky throughout June. And I was seeing this as like, oh, wow. They pulled out the
Yeah.
This isn't going to bite us in the future.
But the Mets, like, they'll go and lose 3, 4, 5 in a row, and then you're like, all right, they suck. We suck again. And then they'll win 4 out of 5, and you're like, you start hoping again, and then they just let you down, like, you know.
Well, the Pirates, it's like you've come to custom to like, oh boy, here comes the false hope. Here comes the false hope. We're gonna go over the cliff again. Here we go. Whee!
Yeah, and I can imagine being a Reds fan. They just disappoint you.
At least you're no longer tanking.
Yes.
Pretty much. Although you did win tonight.
Yeah. Okay, so the Reds won.
Cleveland beat Kansas City, so Cleveland gets another game. I remember people doubting me about Cleveland winning the division, but guess what? I think they're what? 1 or 2 games back now?
Yeah.
And they were like 11 back a month, like 6 weeks ago.
Do you think the Angels will waste Shohei Ohtani?
Ooh,
I don't think so.
No.
They have too much money invested, and they'll never will.
The good thing about him is, like, he's valuable in so many ways.
The Angels have had so many disastrous signings that there's no way they can lose like another Shohei Ohtani. Like, the only good one they've had is Tommy La Stella. The thing, like, Cody Allen was DFA. Matt Harvey was DFA. He's a total wreck. I'm trying to think who else.
Yeah, he worked out well for the Reds, huh?
Yeah, they had the only place to move him, and they just decided not to.
I'm trying to think who else. There was like another pitcher. I forget the name. I think it was an old Oakland pitcher. He's not doing well. He's getting lit up.
Davis? No.
No.
Where's Sonny Gray? What happened to him?
He's all-star.
He was an all-star?
I wanted the Pirates to get him.
Yeah, he's the kind of guy.
Do well with old Yankees.
Sonny Gray is one of those guys that cannot be in like a big market. He just has to fly under the radar and have no pressure on him, and then he'll do well. Like he does shit in New York. Like he just got
Because the
ate up.
Yankees do that to a lot of
Right.
teams.
Well, in New York, if you make one bad pitch and it ends up in the bleachers, like all you hear is "fuck you, you fucking suck."
Oh, and by the way,
I mean, that's kind of our right. That's what we do, you know, as New York fans, is just insult you until you get the fuck
typical
out.
Reds fashion, for the first time in 5 years, they have confidence starting pitching and relief pitching, and then
and they can't have hitting.
Right.
Joey Votto hitting 240.
Right.
That's the thing. I felt like their hitting would stay hot, and it's like nope.
Yeah.
And they're in like a hot box of a park.
Yeah, the Turner Ward effect. You know, look at all the Dodgers hitters this year after he left. So.
Yeah. Should be better than they are.
Exactly. If you look at their running differential, they should be better, but they're like a team that can't piece it together.
No.
Yeah.
Just
They had
can't.
a stretch. I want to say from the beginning of the season when they went 1-8 and had that fight in Pittsburgh.
That was from Chris Archer, right?
Against the
Yeah,
world.
yeah. They had a 2.5 month stretch where they didn't have a winning streak or a losing streak. I believe higher than 3.
Oh my
That's
God.
the indication of how mediocre they were.
Yeah, that's the definition of mediocre.
Pirates, you know, they
you want
lose
to
8, 9.
hit another song real quick?
Yeah.
How about
Dead Air is in the background. What's that?
How about Marlins will soar?
Oh, the Marlins? You want to bring up the Marlins
Yes,
now?
fuck your Peter.
Like,
I mean, that's an easy thing to say.
I've taken shits more interesting than the Marlins, okay?
Marlins are straight tanking right now.
Right.
That's all that matters.
They always
They're
say.
irrelevant
We're
right
the
now.
fucking
They may be
team.
relevant in 3 years, but if that happens, everyone's going to be traded for more prospects
Right.
and some random
The
cash.
cycle of life continues, except it's just one-way. It's a one-way train to butt fucking.
And unfortunately,
Hey, I've
they
been
won
there
the World
before.
Series or
I've
two.
been on the one-way train to butt fucking.
At least the Mets are interesting.
When in Hamilton, right?
Oh, dude, the Mets are hilarious.
Let's see. So we got about 13 minutes left.
Yeah, we have a couple of
Yeah.
We should continue the
St.
show.
Louis lost. Good. 8-2.
It's good for the Cubs.
Atlanta's beating Philadelphia 15-7. Good job.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna mention a few things to trigger this later right here. Bryce Harper, Jake Arrieta, Hector Neris, and David Roberts. Good job, have a good
Yes.
Now bow and leave.
But San Diego's beating San Fran 3-1. Baltimore and LA are tied at 5. Although I think Baltimore's won the first 2 games of that series. Like a 15-game save that was a save by an outfielder.
That's right. Yeah, that's like one of the first times a position player has notched a save in like forever.
First time in history.
Really?
Or in the modern
Wow.
era.
Well, now that save rules are ridiculous. If you just pitch 3 innings, you get a save, no matter what the run differential was. You can't tell me that if you pitch 3 innings, you're a position player. That just cheapens the save rule, don't you think? Like it's just
maybe
stupid.
I don't know. I mean, as long as it's like a hitter who pitches an inning or a guy who
Right.
pitches 3 innings in a blowout.
But also, how insulting is that you had the lead and you put a position player out there in the pitch? You're just like, all right. Usually it's the team that's losing, getting their ass kicked, that's like, all right, we don't want to waste
Because
any
it's
innings.
the Orioles, they're already
They're like,
thinking
fuck
they
it.
want the number
Right.
1 overall
They're like,
pick.
fuck it. Let's put somebody out there
And
that
Oakland's
could
beating
possibly
Texas
lose
for
the
nothing.
game.
And by the way, the Cubs blew it again.
Oh
Milwaukee
my
wins
gosh.
5-3.
Was it a walk-off
your
hit?
boy Craig Kimbrell lost. It was Keston Harrell with a walk-off home run.
Wow, what a signing there, huh?
I'll continue to watch the Cubbies because I watched them through the shit year.
That's true. You are a diehard. Like
Craig Kimbrell.
if you still like the Cubs, right.
2 hits, 1 walk, 2 home runs given up.
Right.
Good
You
job,
can't be a
Craig.
Johnny
And you paid
Come-Lately
him
Cubs
$15
fan.
million for 3 years. Round of applause for the DOFC running into the same tracks he ran into in Chicago.
Yep. Or Boston.
Sorry, I have to.
Yes.
To be fair.
All right.
There is a Chile soccer team that I believe the logo is similar to the Steelers.
Oh,
I'm
nice.
trying to find it.
There's a
There it is.
University of
There
Iowa.
it is. Here's the thing.
Ah.
That's the thing.
Oh wow, they
Oh,
just
nice.
straight up copied it.
Yeah.
All right. The University of Iowa, I think the Hawkeyes, they use the same.
have the color-
Yeah, the color scheme. Yeah, black and gold. This is interesting. You gave us this helmet, or you gave Tree this helmet. When I was a kid, I would always be like, how come no little person? It's such a good helmet. It's such a waste that there's no tiny person.
Yeah, you bought a big head.
I'm like, I need to go find a midget and put this helmet on him.
It'll go on my fist.
All right.
I can play like football and I'll be like,
Yeah, I have another helmet actually.
yeah, maybe too. It's like, oh boy, we got screwed by the refs again.
Alright,
Jesse James.
this might be the wrong bunch to bring this up in, and forgive me if I do this, but I've had this money-making idea for a long time, and I want to share it with y'all tonight. And I don't know if I've brought it up on the actual dumpster fire before, but my concept is that we go out and we find 20 midgets, right? And they're all volunteers, and
Volunteers.
and we
Putting it mildly.
outfit them in full NFL like shoulder pads, helmets, right? And then we put them on a little football field, maybe 30 yards long, right? And you take 11 of them, and you as a person gets to pay $50 to $100 depending on how many snaps you want, and you try to gain as many yards as you can against 11 midgets. So they get to tackle you and hit you as hard as they want, but you also get to truck the midget. You know, like you can like lower your shoulders and just be like bam, you know, like or conversely. You could pay to be the tackler, like the midget running towards you, and you have to tackle the midget, which I think would we definitely have to pay more hazard pay for the little fella, right? Right. Oh, we're running out of time. All right, we're getting the candle lit on us here. Yeah. Well, I'm talking about midget, the MFL, the Midget Football League. So I'm just saying, it's all voluntary. We're consensual adults here, and if they want to get paid, you know,
We
like
got insurance waivers.
yeah, I'm just
Better than
saying.
the AF.
Right, and then we could take it to hockey. You know, there could be little people playing hockey, and then I just think it would be cute to see people on skates. You know, just so that's my money-making idea now that you know that these are the thoughts that I think about when I'm taking, you know, large dumps. So.
Sounds like you. But guys, I know we have a few minutes left. Anyone have any other questions for us?
Yes.
Oh wait, I'm trying to think of. Do you think Montreal would try to get Alexis Lafreniere?
Lafreniere?
Yeah, Lafreniere. He's supposed to be the next one.
Oh, is he the Jack Hughes in next year's
he's
draft?
supposed to be better than Crosby, but a diet McDavid.
So you're saying Montreal should tank next year?
Well, meaning if next year's draft isn't Montreal.
Yeah, they're too proud to tank.
It's also they have a young core and they have Carey Price locked up for that much money. They're not gonna.
10.5.
So is Lafreniere, is he French Canadian?
Yeah, he played
They're not going
Manuski.
to waste Carey Price's career like the Rangers have wasted King Henrik's career.
They will waste Carey Price's career.
They already are.
Wasted. He's dried up like an avocado
They
in the
don't
sun.
want to, but they will.
Yeah. He's done.
Here's one for you. Seattle hockey team. Best name.
I wanted to be Seattle Reign, like Reign as in like a king reigning over. But but
that
I think the
exists
women's
already.
soccer team is already taken. I think that would be perfect, by the way, because it does rain a lot in
I would
Seattle.
go with the Metros of the Totems.
I go with the Seattle Salty Yinzers.
Seattle bandwagon. Yeah, that's the name of their football fans.
City Pitch.
Right.
That wouldn't be bad either.
Rain City.
Also,
Pitch
make sure to put
Pigeons.
more money in the swear jar. So.
Yes.
Now that most of the NBA free agency and trades have kind of gone through, there might be a few minor ones. Most of the major ones are gone. Who's your favorite?
Ooh, that's a good one.
That is a good one.
I like the Knicks getting Julius Randle. That was my favorite.
And he's gone.
Actually, here's my assessment of the Knicks. Here's a more appropriate one. That's what it's like to be a Knicks fan these days. Oh, hey. Had to do it.
Everybody laugh at the Knicks.
Do you think these people are going to be regretting not drafting Kaliev like people are regretting not drafting Veleno?
Let's answer this question first, though. What was your favorite NBA?
I liked what New Orleans did to trade off Anthony Davis. I like what they did. Get the futures, have a nice core for the future. I mean, if you can build like a Brandon Ingram as a wingman for Zion, Zion's what he is.
So, to me, I know that I have thrown Philly under the bus for the process, like, relentlessly, because it's
We all have.
the Sixers and it's Philly, but I actually like what the Thunder have done. They clearly weren't going to win a title. Damon Lillard just ruined their entire franchise with that one, like, shot.
No, that was blowing 3-1. That's what blew the
Yeah, well, that too, but now they've reset. They've acquired a ton of picks. They're going to move Chris Paul, and they're going to be good in 4 years again. So I like what people are giving Sam Presti shit. I think he's done.
I don't think he's done shit.
Very
I
good
think
job.
he did a good job. He got great value for Paul
But
George.
it's going to be painful. They're going to get bent over like a middle-aged man visiting his urologist.
Bad they can't trade off CP3.
Oh, you're all just named Golden Taint.
Golden taint, everyone. With that being said, we can now wrap up the show. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. Thank you for giving us our gifts. We appreciate it. And thanks for the LCBO gift card, by the way. What's your name again? Jeremy. Thank you so much. We already drank that, I think.
Drank a gift card?
Thanks, everyone. If you want to take pictures with us or anything like that before you leave, we're here for you. But we appreciate everyone coming out, and this was way more people than we thought.
Yeah,
especially at ConBravo. And if anyone has a relative that's a midget, I didn't mean it. It's all.
No, you did.
Yeah, I did. But it's all for comic effect. Thank you. All right. Thanks, everybody.